What up, y'all? It's your boy E, back again with another video. And you guys have probably seen the viral video where we're cutting the GSM of a hoodie. And now in this video, we're gonna just break it down a little bit more in depth on what GSM is, how to measure it, the entire process, and why it's important that you need to know about this if you're wanting to start a clothing brand. So first, I'm gonna start off with what is GSM? GSM is essentially grams per square meter. It's a unit of measure for you to measure out how heavy a fabric is gonna be. And let me preface it by saying this. GSM is not going to be a make or break on your garments. There are garments out there that have really low GSM, but are still high quality in fabric, are still high quality in the cuts and the fits. So it's not going to be the differentiating factor between a luxury product and a non-luxury product. However, when it does come to something like a fleece, GSM is going to be important because you're going to be wearing it when it's cold outside and you're going to want it to be a little bit thicker. So the first thing you want to do is obviously you want to find some piece of garment, okay? And then what you want to do is you want to make sure you have the right tools. So the first thing you'll need is a GSM cutter. And all of this I actually learned from my dad. So he had already had this machine, but we looked it up online and you can find one of these on Amazon. It is a little bit expensive, but again, if you're wanting to be a master of your craft in making clothes, you gotta invest in the right tools. So once you have the cutter, the second thing that you'll need is a GSM scale right here. And all my guys out there that's trapping, you already know the scale is gonna make or break your business. So once you have those two things, the first thing you wanna do is you wanna get your garment, you wanna lock it in place, and you wanna make sure it's nice and smooth, right? You wanna lock it in place, and then you just wanna spin this thing and cut a circle out. And essentially what this does is it allows you to cut out an even circle every single time. So that way when you put it on the GSM scale, it's gonna give you the exact GSM. So we're gonna turn on the scale. And you guys already know, what do I always tell you? You gotta weigh the work. So once you turn on the scale, all my trappers know you gotta tar it, you gotta zero it out, make sure it's at 0. So the scale's at 0. So this fleece right here is gonna be roughly 260 GSM. So again, that is a little bit on the lighter end for a fleece. This is gonna be 280 GSM. And again, I can't stress this to you guys enough. The GSM is not gonna make or break your product. However, when it comes to something like fleece, hoodies, joggers, that sort of heavyweight feel is gonna make it feel a little bit more luxurious. And if you're starting out, I would say 300 GSM is probably where it starts off with like the Nike Club fleece. So when you go to the Nike store, that $40 hoodie that they have, it's gonna be roughly at 280 to 300 GSM. Once you get into the 400 GSM, that's when you're gonna start to see the quote unquote heavyweight products. And that's gonna be for fleece. For t-shirts, I would say anything over 200 GSM is considered a little bit heavyweight. Once you hit the 250, that's when you're gonna get that shock aware. So that shock aware is at 250 GSM. It's a good heavyweight feel. Me personally for t-shirts, once you hit the 300 GSM mark, it almost starts to feel like a blanket versus shirt. And I'm a sweater, so I don't like having too much of a heavy shirt. And now that you guys know this, what I do wanna explain to you is something called tolerance. So every time you work with the factory, you have to give anywhere from 5 to 10% tolerance. And tolerance is essentially saying that, hey, look, as a factory, you can mess up my garment up to 5 or up to 10%. And that's just gonna happen because at the end of the day, they're real people, they're real humans that are making these garments, and they're not gonna make everything perfectly the way that you want it. So you have to understand that it's a relationship and you gotta give and take. I mean, when you're with your shorty at night, she's not gonna do everything that you want her to do. You're not gonna do everything that she wanna do. So guess what? Y'all gotta meet in the middle. And it's the same sort of relationship that you have with these factories. You know, we stay giving y'all free game. Let us know down below if you guys wanna see different types of videos, what other products we should cut up. Just comment down below.